Welcome, time for some art fun. Today we're finally going to tour this sketchbook, so stick around. This is my Etcher Lab Everyday Sketchbook. This is their llama that they put on every sketchbook. The sketchbook actually comes in this color, this sort of cream color, but as you can probably see, it gets really dirty just sitting on your desk. And so it is sort of a canvasy material. And I did a whole video, which I'll link at the end of this one, talking about how to paint your Etcher Labs sketchbook. And I did paint this, and there's a whole video on how I painted this. But that is the story of what type of sketchbook this is that we're going to be touring today. Now, I started this 23rd sketchbook of mine. I have filled 23 total sketchbooks so far. I started it March 11th of 2022, and I ended it on August 18th of 2022 as part of a 10-hour sketchbook challenge. On this first page, and this is what I've been really liking to do for a while, I actually started this sketchbook next, and this is my 25th sketchbook. My 24th is downstairs, and I like to do this sort of test page on the first page of new sketchbooks. I think it really takes the stress off of creating some sort of masterpiece on the first page, but it also helps you get to know your sketchbook and what the materials do. So I did my Neocolor 2 water-soluble pastels. I did flash paint, which is something I was turned on to by Sandy Hester. And as you can see, it's a very matte acrylic paint. I also did Holbein acrylic gouache. Some colors are more matte than others. I did black Blick matte acrylic paint, which is really cool. I know Blick is almost only available in America, so some of my foreign friends don't have access, but this is what that looks like. And it is really cool, the Blick matte acrylic paint. I got a ton of them. I painted the caps, and I have a whole video on swatching all of them, and they really are nice. Like, look how thick and solid and matte those colors are, and they are dirt cheap. You can get a set. I think they're like $1 a bottle. It's really good. I've got these Tombow markers that I wet just to see how they went with water solubleness. My Turner acrylic gouache that a lot of you have, and I just did a little color wheel with 3 colors. Same thing with my Winsor & Newton gouache. This is water soluble traditional gouache. Did a little color wheel using 3 colors. A luminance pencil. I really like how that looks on this paper. Regina's watercolors, which are my watercolors I'm trying to use up right now. And my Amazon Basics Posca pen dupes, and my watercolor brush pens. I believe these are the Arteza brand. So those are all the materials. Oh, and I did some metallic watercolor and pen supplies. So that's everything that I did. This is just ink and fountain pen ink. I love to paint with fountain pen ink. And that's everything that I tested on the first page. This is a toucan that I did in watercolor, and there's a video on that. A little whale. There's also a video on that. I really liked this video, and I love how this whale came out. This lighting is not doing the purple in this any justice, but it's really pretty. I love this little chubby whale. I did this girl and this acrylic. It almost feels like a bookmark. It's so thick, this paint, you can actually feel the edge of it, little floral. But I did a reel with this that was very popular. This was me testing out a landscape painting with Magello watercolors that were sent to me by a very wonderful subscriber, and I loved making that video. This is a Lindsay Frugal Crafter tutorial. She actually has a video doing this tutorial, and I just painted along with her. This is a really fun landscape type thing. It's just a rainy day with fall leaves that I did with my super granulating watercolors that I just take any opportunity to use. Love those watercolors. This is a test page with Regina's, my Regina's colors. They are so vibrant, those watercolors. And then this is the Grabby brand metallic watercolors. I got a whole set of metallic watercolors from them, and this was a test piece. This is not going to come across, but this really does look like touchable, like it's a real thing, especially with the metallic. I don't know if it's coming across. The metallics on these aren't really showing up anymore, but this metallic is really showing up. How interesting. I don't think these look that metallic in this light, but they are metallic. This is a really fun Mira Byler inspired moth. She didn't make this moth or anything, but she's always painting moths, so I got a free reference picture from Pixabay of a moth and painted it with my Regina's watercolors, and then I believe there's some metallic sort of hair in there. And then this was a grabby metallic paint butterfly and like sort of hydrangeas. I don't really like how this one came out. I think I messed that one up, but I love this moth. This is a fun watercolor landscape. It's really hard to show in this light because you can't even see. This is all yellow and this is a really vibrant purple. I loved this spread. Very Natasha Newton inspired. She didn't obviously paint this, but this is very inspired by watching her videos, and I love how this came out. Let's give you a slow roll. I believe that's all Turner gouache, but I'm not totally sure. These are my new granulating paints that I got. They're not new anymore, but they were new to me when I painted this, and I made a little travel palette like this and filled it with those, as well as this one metallic paint that is really nice. And then this was my challenge with Sketches and Scrubs, another art YouTuber here. We did Art Telephone. She painted something that looked like this and I interpreted it, and then she interpreted mine. We both did numerous versions, which you'll see in a second. And then any of our subscribers or people who watch our videos are welcome to look at this as a reference picture or look at one of hers as a reference picture and paint their own version. But I'm obsessed with how this came out. I don't usually do portraits this well, and I think she's beautiful, and I love the colors. This is the next one that I did. Again, Art Telephone. That's the same reference picture. I just took a lot of license, like artistic license. Obviously, I got rid of the glasses, the outfit. I really changed it, but I love her. I love that they have such different skin tones, such different, the matte, like sort of blocky look versus the watercolor look. That's kind of what the idea is. Hopefully just seeing these two will help you get a sense of the challenge, the Art Telephone challenge. There is a video, obviously a series of videos on that. This was my effort at Mermaid 2022. So there's my mermaid. I kind of like that she's just suggested kind of ghostly because they are mythical creatures, and I feel like that's all the human eye might be able to see. This is a little bunny, and I painted this while I was doing the Sketches and Scrubs reveal. We had a Zoom where I showed her mine, and we had another Zoom where she showed me hers. This is and there are videos of those reactions too, by the way. They're really fun to see us hanging out. We have a great time. These are llamas. This is actually the same llama before and after sticking its tongue out. I made this based on a suggestion on Reels. There was a reel of this llama, and one of my follow me on Instagram asked me to do a painting. So I did a reel of this sort of llama screenshot. These are potion bottles, using the Emily Grace Palettes Harry Potter collection paints that I got. Again, metallic paints. I love how these bottles came out, and I love how shimmery and shiny her paints are. This was, I just wanted to do pastel something, and so I used my Turner acrylic gouache and just a lot of matte acrylic paint to do that. This is some I think it's called Kohlrabi metallic paints. It was gifted to me by a subscriber, and I love how this painting came out. It's so much fun. This was all Regina's watercolors, and it's just a cute baby. I love painting koalas. They are so cute. And I remember painting this and feeling so relaxed and loving how it came out. I hope I'm not moving too much. This is a little fat bird. I love painting fat birds. My mom turned me on to the idea of painting fat birds, and I just love them. And look how there's sort of this blue shiny aura around the bird. The rest is all Regina's watercolors, but around the bird and a little bit inside the bird, I used a little of those Kohlrabi metallic paints. You can probably see where those are. This is just a fun little landscape. I was watching Sarah Burns Studios, and this is kind of the vibe I get when I'm watching her videos. This is another fat bird, but this is using ink. I'm trying to just be able to show you the way that it sheens. It's really cool. I loved how that background came out. And then the bird and the limb are Regina's watercolors. This little duckling, I love how this one came out. Nothing sparkly, but it's kind of struggling to show you the red around the eye. I think that's pretty. And this is just a really angelic portrait that I was going for, and I really love how this came out. I honestly can't stop looking at this one. I love how it came out. I can't show that. Edit, edit, edit. This was by my little nephews, and they signed it where my hand is covering, so I can't let you show that. But they were just playing with ink in this sketchbook, and I think that's really cool how they made it so interesting to look at. But that's just an abstract by them. And then these are just a couple of Colorado mountainscape paintings and multimedia. There's all kinds of stuff going on in these. There's like paint pens and watercolor and ink, and it's all fun. It was just so much fun. This is a painting I did actually on camera for you all. It's just a gentleman's portrait with an ink background that I really messed up here, and I hate when that happens because you really can't cover it up. Like, no white paint or anything can cover up an ink problem. Just know that. And this is a cute little owl that I love how this one came out. So cute. Second time I painted that owl. This is just a seal underwater, and I just wanted to suggest the water with these little blobs of color, and I really love that look. I love how this came out. I might make more underwater creatures with that approach to showing that they're underwater. This is a quokka. I did this in a video. This one was not in a video. This one does have a video. I love painting quokkas. They're so happy and friendly. This is a watercolor and metallic paint, just like little doodles of botanicals. I really like how that came out. And this was just a doodle with my Regina's watercolors again. These, I don't know, I was just loving the color play. It's not even trying to be anything, but I would be really interested to hear what you see when you look at this abstract. I personally see tornadoes. So let me know what you're thinking when you see that. These are polar bears that are completely inspired by a Pinterest photo that I saw. So I don't know how to credit it because I couldn't find it again, but this is not my sort of original take on polar bears. This was very inspired by Pinterest, and this is a mistake. It's a failed experiment. I saw this beautiful, vibrant landscape photo reference on Pexels or Pixabay, one of the free sites, and I don't know why I was not able to execute it at all. Like, this couldn't be further from it, and I just don't like it. But I wonder what you all think. Maybe if you hadn't seen the reference picture, you wouldn't know why this isn't any good. Or maybe you would know it's not any good just looking at it. So let me know. I don't like it. This was a really fun ink and metallic and watercolor. I think actually this is all ink. Never mind, no watercolor. This is all ink. This is Pilot Iroshizuku Yamabudo. This is, I believe, Noodler's, hold on, Golden Brown. Noodler's Golden Brown. And then this was Edelstein Apatite that I now have a full bottle of because it's so pretty. And then I put some kind of metallic something in there too. So where you see the like pale green metallic, that's not part of the Edelstein ink, but everything else is in the middle. And then I also used inks to make this really cool landscape. I love this landscape. This is one of my favorite pages in this sketchbook. That's why the stopper is stopped there. I love how this came out. And this is all just 2 colors of ink. It was so much fun. A very cute and fuzzy bear in acrylic. A very cozy house in watercolor. Another fuzzy bear in watercolor, and this has a lot of super granulating colors like Shire, I believe it's Shire Olive or Shire Yellow. I don't know. It's one of my favorite colors. I need to check. Hold on. I'll edit out the weight, but hold on. Yeah, it's Shire Olive. How pretty is that? I use it a ton. As you can see, like, look how deep that divot is. I love Shire Olive. I just think it's so cool. Like, it's like pale blues and bright greens. I don't know why they call it olive, though. I mean, that's why I got confused even remembering. But this whole background is Shire Olive, and the rest are just other paints. And then I just wanted to play with my inks again and made another abstract. Just really fun. I feel like it would really be this is the spread. Bear house, but, you know, to each his own. And now we start the 10-hour sketchbook challenge. So by this point in the sketchbook, it had been March to August. All of this was March to August. All of this was one day in August. So, whoa. As soon as I turned this page, so this was the first set of drawings from the 10-hour challenge. 2 little bunnies. Watercolor bunnies with acrylic backgrounds. One is a paint pen and one is just a mix of Turner gouache. I love how they came out. I love the little green, like turquoise accents that are almost hard to see unless you know to look for them. I really like how those came out. This really vibrant, gorgeous background for this little fuzzy ball owl. You know I love my floof ball owls. I paint them all the time. I did this sort of moss house. I did this really cool sparkly tortoise. I did this really fun quokka. There's a whole video on these, so I'm just cruising through them. This really fun A-frame house that I want to be in right now with super granulating background woods. This adorable owl is my favorite animal I think I've ever painted. This really fun, adorable jumping fox. This is a lot of people's favorites. I rarely do foxes, and this one makes me feel fuzzy little tummy.
is so cute.
A really fun water reflection house. Ooh. A beautiful acrylic background ink bird, and the ink glowing just doesn't even come across, but it is super glowy. And then finally, this little snuggly polar bear. And that's the end of the sketchbook. So thank you so much for watching this sketchbook tour. Definitely let me know in the comments which of these little paintings was your favorite. And I will really be looking forward to seeing what you thought. Until next time, remember, create something cute.